January 10th, 2013. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 10 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall. Once again, I'm here with Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So I was talking to my sister this last week, and I said, so, hey, have you listened to the podcast? What do you think? And she said, well, can I make a suggestion? And I thought, oh, good. You know, she's got an idea for a topic or, you know, something we can talk about.
Right.
Or are we talking too fast, that kind of thing. She said, yeah, could you make it sound like you're not recording in a bathroom? And I said,
yeah, did you tell her we are in the bathroom and that's part of the whole charm of the show?
No, don't you like that? Oh, so I'm thinking, and I've never been happy with the sound on the show. So today we've got a kind of a new setup here, very high tech. If you could see the conditions under which we're recording.
Yeah, I like it all except that I have to sit on your lap while we do this.
Well, you know, all for the podcast.
Yeah, I guess, sacrifices.
So anyway, yeah, we've got kind of a new setup here that is kind of thrown together, but hopefully it does sound better and not like we're in a bathroom. So you were telling me about a show that you saw.
Yeah, so my wife and I are watching the Food Network, her favorite television station, and there's this show Chopped where 4 chefs compete. You know, one gets eliminated at a time, and then until they get to the champion. So anyway, at the beginning of the show, each chef, you know, describes what they do, where they work, and whatnot. And so one of the guys is the executive chef at the Aria buffet in Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah.
And I turned to my wife and that was the worst buffet we've ever eaten at.
It was bad.
I mean, bar none.
Yeah, it was surprising for as you know, nice as the
and as
overall,
expensive as it was.
That's right.
It was a really bad buffet. My dad didn't even like it. And he usually just gobbles down food and never says a word.
Yeah, it was bad.
So it was bad. So I turned to her and I said, yeah, this ought to be good. And sure enough, he was the first one eliminated. And one of the judges said the food was very bland. So there you go. I don't know.
How do you figure that? Because when did we go? It was a little over a year ago that we went to the Aria buffet. And Aria had been open, I guess, for almost a year. And I mean, it's Aria. It's supposedly one of the nicer, hotels, casino hotels, part of City Center.
And it wasn't just that it didn't have a big selection or something. It was just not good food.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing really tasted that good.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
I thought at first it was just me.
No.
Because, you're losing, and so you're like, you're not in the best of moods eating.
Right.
But then when you and my dad said that you didn't like it, I thought, oh, gosh, this really is bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, funny story.
That's good. Well, that's probably why. Yeah, it's probably because he's the executive chef.
And, and he was chopped.
And he was chopped, right. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I was kind of close to Barona, which is one of the tribal casinos here in the San Diego area. So I thought, well, I'll head out there. I'm going to check out their video poker and see what some of the pay tables are on the video poker. So I headed out there. Did you know that the Blackjack Hall of Fame is in Barona?
No, I had no idea. I didn't even know there was a Blackjack Hall of Fame, let alone it was in Barona.
It's just this small little area. It's from the parking lot, if you get like if you park in the parking structure and there's like a moving tram that kind of takes you into the casino, you go right by it. It's just like a display kind of on one of the walls. It's not big at all.
Oh, okay. So it's not a room.
No, it's not like a room or something that you pay to go. I mean, that's just it.
Yeah.
But that's the Blackjack Hall of Fame. It's right
and
there.
That's the only one.
That's it. It really, if you look up Blackjack Hall of Fame, it's located in Barona Casino, San Diego County.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Just another reason to come to San Diego.
Exactly. But anyway, I went up to check out because we had played some video poker there a while back. This was a little while back.
Oh, a long while.
The pay tables were good. They were decent. And the last time that I'd been there, I was looking, and it seemed like the pay tables had gotten worse. So I was just curious. I went out there. They have full pay jacks or better machines still there, as low as like 25 cents. And by full pay, what we mean is if you look at the pay table, if you look at like the single coin in payoff, you want to look for a machine that's 9.6. That is a full house pays 9 coins and a Flush pays 6. So
Right.
you want to find a 9.6 Jacks or better machine. They call that full pay. Because some machines you'll find, like we were talking last week, the one at Harrah's Rincon and most Caesars properties are 8.5.
8.5, right?
Which is a significant difference. So they had full pay Jacks or better as low as 25 cents. And I got to thinking too about it. It really probably Barona, in as far as San Diego casinos go, Barona's got the best overall rules, I think, for the games.
So. Right, yeah.
And we talked.
They have 5 times odds on craps.
5 times odds on craps. Like I just said, full pay Jacks or better video poker. I know all their blackjack games are 3-2. They don't have any 6-5 games that I know of. I mean, I went around the casino kind of looking. And it's kind of like we said last week. It's very close to us, and the only reason we don't go there is because their comps aren't very good.
Right.
So,
and there's one other thing. Once I remember a while back, and I was playing craps there, like on a regular basis, once a week. I'd go out there and play, and they went through a period where they changed a bunch of staff, and they had like all trainees on a Saturday night on a craps table.
You were telling me about
and it
that.
was it was so frustrating. I mean, they were doing their best.
Sure,
it wasn't like they just were overwhelmed by, the number of people and the game going fast, and that kind of soured me, and so I stopped going.
Yeah.
But that's probably better now.
Yeah, well, I played craps there about 6 months ago, and they're very competent. I was there kind of during the day. If anything, maybe the dealers are a little kind of in their own world, telling, just gabbing.
Right.
Which I don't really like either. When
chit chat.
Yeah,
right.
It's fine if they're talking with you, but it was kind of like them just talking amongst themselves.
Right. They're almost bored.
Yeah, but they were competent. They were good dealers. Yeah. So anyway, Barona, like I said, great rules, and we'd go there like crazy if they had better comps.
Yeah,
that's really
my next door neighbor, him and his wife go out there a lot. I mean, a lot, at least 4 or 5 times a week, and they stay overnight a lot. And I asked them once about that, and they said that they thought. And they've stayed at all the casinos around San Diego that have hotels. They thought they had the nicest hotel.
Oh, that's good.
So
had they ever stayed at Rincon?
They stayed at Rincon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they stayed at Valley View.
Yeah.
And
Paula?
I guess Paula too. Yeah, they're pretty big slot players.
Okay.
And but they stayed out there, and they think that's the best. That's why they go there. It's also the closest to our house.
Right.
So
it looks like a nice hotel. I've never stayed there, but it does look nice. Yeah. All right, so kind of the big news this week is that, and we talked about this, was it last episode, I think, maybe it was the previous one, where Total Rewards was going to change their rules as far as how many tier credits you needed to obtain to get to certain levels.
Right.
And they finally made the official announcement this week via mailer. I got a mailer in the mail last week. You got yours?
I just got mine yesterday.
That's funny. I wonder why they didn't. Well, they are kind of customized.
Right. They are. Mine's very customized.
So, maybe that's why it just takes them a long time to print them up. Yeah. But it's a little different from what we had originally reported based on Vegas Tripping's initial report. The one difference is we had said that in order to get 7 stars, you'd have to get 120,000 tier credits, and it's actually 150,000. So that's quite a bit higher.
Quite a bit, yeah.
But one thing we didn't know about is that, again, this is Caesars Total Rewards Players Club, their Players Club, Total Rewards. They have this new rule starting this year where if you earn a certain number of tier credits in one day, you get bonus tier credits. Oh. And that supposedly is going to help you
offset the
fact that you have to make more tier credits. Right. And
it seems to me like it sounds like they're making it to your advantage, but really, I mean, what they're doing is encouraging you to play more in a day.
Right.
Right, which is to their advantage.
Right. You're saying, oh, gosh, I got to play a little bit more to make these bonus.
It's very smart marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like if I play just another hour, I'll make that next bonus level.
Right. As it turns out, the way that you and I kind of play, I mean, we usually go, once, 2-3 times a month for one day anyway, and then just play. We're not
as many hours as we can that day.
Right. So this, probably will help us.
Right.
But supposedly they said that if you get 500 tier credits in one day, you get an additional 125 bonus.
Yeah.
If you get 1,000 tier credits, you get 1,000 bonus.
Double.
And then if you hit 2,500 in one day, you get an additional 5,000.
So you're getting 3 times as
Three
many.
times what you normally would.
Right.
And that's got to be great for a player like you, because I know if you're at the craps table, you're going to make 2,500
Yeah, almost every
pretty
time.
easily. Yeah. So you're going to be making almost 3 times as much in that way.
Right. It could literally be 5,000 a week if I went once a week.
Yeah.
So in a month, you got 20,000, right?
Right.
So 12 months, you've got 240,000. So you easily make your...
Easily make 7 stars.
And that's if you just go once a week.
One other thing that they're adding too, they're dividing the diamond tier level into to separate levels. There's going to be a level 1 diamond, level 2 diamond, level 3 diamond. And so the way it's going to work now is just to make diamond, you have to make 15,000 tier credits. To make level 2 diamond, it's 40,000, and level 3 diamond is 80,000. This, I think, is really smart, and I bet a lot of diamond players like this, because someone like me who barely made diamond this last year, barely scraped by,
Right.
I'm getting the same benefits having made 11,000 tier credits as the guy who's got 80,000 tier credits, almost
Right.
8 times what I have, right? So he's obviously playing a lot more, but the benefits are exactly the same.
Right. It makes sense. I'm surprised they don't do that at every level.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I mean, 7 stars, they kind of do, because if you reach a certain level, you get more perks. It's not publicized, but in their brochure,
right.
you get a free trip every year for being a 7-star. But if you get to over 200,000, then you get like 2 free trips,
right?
Where they pay for your.
Well, they do. I mean, they do have this. So they're introducing the one for diamond. 7 stars already had different levels.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any point in making different levels for like the platinum
right? Yeah,
level or the gold level, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
the gold level is basically for the guy who goes to the casino once a year.
That's just the guy who showed up for the first time in the casino.
Right? Yeah, you're a
levels.
platinum before
One thing though that I like, having just made diamond, they did introduce this new. They said it's coming in April. I don't know why they're waiting till April. But one of the new diamond benefits is you're going to get a yearly congratulatory dinner, like the 7 stars members get.
Yeah.
You get like a $500 dinner. Diamond level members now are going to get a $100 dinner. So I mean, that's
take
something
your wife.
new.
That's a good.
Oh
thing,
yeah, that's great. And also, anybody who's familiar with diamond in a day, that's where, if you play a certain amount, like in one day, just power through, you can make diamond in one day. Mm-hmm. Looking at the flyer here, it says, if you earn 5,000 tier credits in one day, we'll award you diamond status immediately, I guess, for the rest of this year. So that's working. So,
of course, that you'd probably have to play. You'd have to be a $25 bettor for like 10 hours.
Right. Or at a table, or you'd have to do like $10 coin in video poker for like 10 hours, like at a $2 machine or something like that. Yeah, it would take, you'd have to power through it. But I don't know. We'll see how this works out. Right now, you and I are kind of thinking we're actually going to
benefit from this.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be some people who do not benefit, like people who maybe go to the casino for 1 hour, 3 days a week, something like that. People who live in Las Vegas. Well, I don't know if that'll, make a difference, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so poker home game this week. We'd like to talk about 5-card draw, jacks are better to open, trips or better to win. And it's a fairly popular poker home game.
Yeah, I'd say probably one of the most.
I don't particularly care for it.
No, I got to agree with you.
It takes, even though it's so popular, as we get to describe it, I'll kind of explain why I don't care for it. But here's how it works. It's a 5-card draw game. And in order to start the betting, a player has to have at least a pair of jacks in their hand in order to start the betting. And if the action is on a player and he does not have jacks or better, he just says, pass, I can't open, until it gets around to somebody at the table who has a pair of jacks or better and can open. And if nobody can open, nobody has jacks or better, all the cards are mucked, it's reshuffled, and a new hand is dealt. And typically there's like a re-ante too. That's in a lot of games.
Right. Most people like that. Yeah. Builds a pot.
So the idea then is that once somebody opens, that means they have at least a pair of jacks or better. And then play just goes typically like 5-card draw. How many cards do you want? everybody gets their additional cards.
Right.
And then in order to win the hand, a player has to show down at least trips, 3 of a kind. And if nobody has 3 of a kind or better, there are like 5 players in the hand and nobody's got 3 of a kind or better, then once again, all the cards are mucked, there's another ante, and you redeal. Now, one critical rule here is that if you fold any time along the way, you're out for the whole rest of the deal. So again, if you folded and then it turns out nobody has 3 of a kind or better, so nobody wins, and there's a redeal, you're out of the hand.
You're already out, right?
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, would you agree that a lot of times when somebody is betting and another person doesn't want to call because they've got nothing in their hand, they just go ahead and fold. I don't see too many times where somebody says, I'm going to stay and maybe nobody will make trips.
Yeah.
Especially if there's, 5 or 6 or more people in a hand.
It depends on how far along you are in the game. Like if it's like the 4th or 5th time deal,
then they won't fold.
The pot's so big by then, especially if you're anting.
But it's that first initial time.
Yeah.
The people fold, and then, it's like, and you'll have 8 people at the table, and it'll be 3 playing the next hand.
I'll tell you, that's true if people are good poker players.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
Right.
And I don't think good poker players call this game very often. So
yeah, it may be. I don't know. It just seemed whenever we've played it our home game, that's the way it ends up.
Well, you're right. And what it comes down to is then it's like 2 or 3 people left, and then suddenly there's so few people left that nobody can open.
Right.
Well, I don't have jacks or better. No,
and the pot keeps growing.
And then it says, okay, we redeal. And then, even when finally somebody opens, they don't make trips, right?
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, the guys who are out are, watching the TV.
Right.
They're trying to watch the ESPN sports ticker just to see what's going on.
That's a real big reason I don't like it is because once you and really you should fold as early as you can if you're going to fold.
Right.
Because if you wait too long, then the pot odds are just too big, right? You're just,
you're
pot's
committed.
Huge. So you want to fold early. If you do fold early and the game goes for a long time, you got nothing to do. You're just, like you said, you're twiddling your thumbs. So anyway, that's why I don't care for it. There are some other weird parts of the game. Like let's say you have like 2 pair. You've got like, 6s and 10s, right? 2 pair. You say, I can open. And so you go ahead and you open. Well, how many cards do you draw? Really, you don't want to try to go for that full house and just draw 1 card.
You draw 3 cards.
You want to draw for trips. So you're going to get rid of your pair of 6s and whatever kicker you had. And in those circumstances, then let's say you make trip 10s at the end, and you say, I won. I got trip 10s. Yeah. Well, then somebody's saying, well, how did you didn't have jacks or better. You had 10s.
Right.
You have to keep those pair of 6s off to the side to prove that you actually had
2 pair.
Jack. So
well, and also, with that too, it's such a screwy game because you'll end up with trips, but some guy who drew 1 card to an outside straight.
Yeah.
Right, beats you.
Yeah.
Because all you can get is trips. So
you know what? I was playing this game once where they said, okay, we're playing jacks or better open, trips to win. And this guy swears that this is true, and I still can't believe it. But he said that it has to be trips to win. You can't have a straight.
You
can't have a flush, right? You can't win with those. It has to be trips. I'm thinking, that is so stupid. Why would anybody play that way? But that's the way. Nope, jacks are better to open, trips to win.
So yeah, keep your pair of 6s, and you draw a 6 and 2 4s. You're screwed.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. You have a full house. It's not trips.
Yeah, sorry, you made a full house.
But anyway, one thing too, although we are talking about trips to win, if everybody folds except one player, he obviously doesn't need trips or better to win, right? He's the only one left, so...
No, you should just keep dealing until he gets exactly trips. Everyone else is watching the ESPN ticker, and you're just trying to give him trips.
He's just anting he's the only one anting, the only one drawing cards.
Every once in a while raising.
He's raising himself. How would he do that? They're just waiting, please. Just get the game over with. Nope, I don't have trips yet. Redeal, shuffle them.
Yeah. It's your rule. I have to have trips.
He's got to stick by it.
Great.
All right. Well, this week we are going to talk about place bets and buy bets in craps.
Thank God.
Now, when you're at a craps table, you can, if you like, you can bet that any point number, any number that can be a point, and remember, those numbers are 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Those are the numbers that can become points in craps. At any time, you can bet that one of those numbers is going to roll before a 7. It is called a place bet. And you can make it at any time. It's a bet that you actually give to the dealer. The dealer puts it on a special part on the table. But people kind of like it because they have some control over it. They can put it up whenever they want. They can take it down whenever they want. They can add to it. They can make it smaller if they want, although that doesn't happen too often. But you do see it every once in a while. The downside is that the payoff is not the true odds of rolling one of those numbers before a 7, like you'd get on the free odds bet behind your pass line bet. But people do like it.
Yeah, it's a little less of a payout.
Right. So how much it pays depends on what number you are making your place bet on. If you make a place bet on the 6 or 8, it pays 7 to 6. So that means you're going to want to bet a multiple of 6 to get the correct payoff. So you'd bet like $6, and if you were to win the bet, you'd get paid 7. If you were to bet only $5, they'd only be able to pay you 6. 5. But 5. Yeah, what am I saying? That'd be great if you could do that.
Right.
If you only bet $5 on it, they could just pay you 5 because they can't, pay off a 7 to 6 bet on a $5 wager.
Bet. Yeah. Same if you bet 3. Some casinos, if it's a lower limit table, or you're making a bet for the dealer and you put $3 on a 6. The true payout would be $3.50, but they'll just pay $3.
Right, exactly. So the payoff for a place bet on the 6 or 8 is 7 to 6. You want to bet a multiple of 6. The payoff for a place bet on the 5 or 9 is 7 to 5. So in that case, you want to bet a multiple of 5. And the payoff for the place bet on the 4 and 10 is 9 to 5. So again, you want to bet a multiple of 5. So it's a multiple of 5 on everything except the 6 and 8, which you want to bet a multiple of 6 on.
And it's just one of those things about craps you have to remember. It's just because on your odds bet,
those payoffs are different.
Those payoffs are different.
Yep.
It's 6 to 5, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and the place bets are different. And I think I really do and we've trained plenty of people to play craps. It's the hardest thing for them to overcome because why can't I?
It's a lot to remember.
Yeah. Why do I have to bet 6?
Right.
The 6 and 8 every time they hand them a 5. It's like, okay.
Now the dealer can always help you if you forget to. How much should I bet? And they'll tell you the right amount that you should bet on that. Now the house edge varies quite a bit on these place bets. The 6 and 8 are actually the best bets to make. The house edge is only 1.52%. If you place the 5 and 9, however, it jumps up to 4%. And if you place the 4 and 10, it's a whopping 6 2/3%. So there's a significant house edge except on the 6 and 8 if you want to make a place bet. Now there is another bet called a buy bet that works the same. You're still betting that a number is going to come up before a 7. But instead of these set payouts that we just described, you pay the house a vig of 5%, vigorish, of 5% of your bet, and they will pay off a buy bet at the true odds of rolling that number before a 7, just like your free odds bet. But in these buy bets, you have to give them a 5% vig. It turns out the only numbers where that makes sense to buy are the 4 and 10. If you were to buy the 5 and 9 or the 6 or 8, you'd actually be getting worse odds, a worse house edge than if you made place bets.
After the vig.
Right, yeah. So the 4 and 10 is when you want to make a buy bet. And again, it's 5% of your bet. So if you're going to bet $20, buy the 4 for $20, again, that's a wager that 4 is going to come up before a 7, you would have to give the house $1, which is 5% of $20 up front. You just give them the $1, and now that's a buy bet. And then if the 4 hits, you'll get paid at 2 to 1, which is the true odds of rolling a 4. That's a better wager than a place bet for the 4 and 10. Now, in most Las Vegas casinos, the buy bet gets even better because you don't have to pay that vig on every bet. You only pay it on winning bets. So if you were to give them $20 to buy the 4 at a Las Vegas strip casino, they wouldn't take your dollar right away. They would only take your dollar once you won the bet. And that's significantly better.
Oh, it's huge, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing, too, is that they'll let you pay a little less than 5%. They'll kind of round down if you bet a little more, and they won't deal with, pennies. So they'll let you buy the 4 or 10 for $25 for a dollar
for
vig.
just $1, right?
I think most casinos.
And actually, you can, if you place it for 60, I believe most of them is still $2.
I think you're right. I think some places let you go to 35 for $1.
Yeah, some will let you go to 35. I've seen people 60, and maybe I can't say for certain, but I think I've seen even 70, and it's still $2. Now, once you hit 75, they ask you for 3.
3, yeah.
And 100, it's $5.
Yeah. So how much they're going to charge is going to vary from casino to casino, as will be the, whether they take the vig on a winning bet or every time. You want to try to play at a place where they'll take only the winning bets. I remember once I figured, too, that if they only took the vig on winning bets, it actually made sense to buy the 5 and 9 as well.
I was going to say that.
But I tried to do it once. I think it was at Luxor. And I said, hey, can I buy the 5? And he said, no, they charge up front for the 5 and 9.
Right.
So it's only...
They figured that out.
They figured it out, too.
Right.
So it's only the 4 and 10 where they take the vig only on winners. And the 5 and 9, at least casinos I've been.
Yeah. You know what's fun about that, too? Have you ever been on a table and you see a guy buy the 4 or the 10 for, say, 60 or 70? So they get that little edge, and they give them, it'll be $70, and they'll give them the $2, and almost proud, almost happy to do it. Like, I'm getting it. Because normally people will bet in increments of 10 or 25. So, most people will take a $50 4.
Yeah, right.
But there's that guy, he'll go to 70 and smile like, it's still only $2.
That's right.
I've even seen him ask, like, is it really only $2?
Yeah.
So, they're pushing the house.
Pushing the house.
Pushing the house.
As far as you
do
it. So if the casino takes the vig on every buy bet that you make on the 4 or 10, there's a 4.76 house edge, which is better than the place bet, which is again 6 2/3%. If they, and this is so, you wouldn't think it'd be this significant, but if they take the vig only on winning bets, it goes down to 1.67%.
It's almost as good as the 6 and 8.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Especially if you can, like I said, push the house, to the higher bid.
If you can get that few extra dollars. Yeah, actually, if you did that, you should figure that out. If you could bet 70 and just pay 2 or 35 for $1, it's probably better than the 6 and 8.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I should have figured it out.
Yeah.
If I were really on top of getting the podcast,
that's not your forte.
Classy, I'm not very good at it. The one other thing too is that buy bets and place bets are automatically off on the come out roll, because typically, everybody wants a 7 on the come out roll. So the buy bets and place bets are automatically off. Now you can tell the dealer to have them work, to have them on.
I remember a certain person asking for them on.
I'm not sure who that is.
Quite a few years.
I can't imagine who that would have been.
Have him work.
That seems crazy. Yeah. But that is an option that any player.
It's great because then when 7 comes up on the come out, you win your pass line bet and everyone's happy except you lost all your place bets.
That's right. It just takes one time to lose all your bets, and then suddenly it's like, what am I thinking? Just leave them off. What's the big deal? Now, we've got a story. Well, so those are the nice thing is with place bets, buy bets, you feel like you've got a little more control over the game. Right. Whether that's really true or not, who knows?
No, it isn't.
But it's a very popular way to play at the craps table. Right. Now, we've got kind of a story about place bets and specifically buying the 4 from, I was looking it up. This was in 2000. So this is 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago. We were at Caesar's Palace. And we weren't having a particularly profitable trip.
No.
I don't think things were going very well. We'd just gotten wiped out at the Mirage. We walked over to Caesar's Palace. We said, well, we'll try it. Mm. And I was down so much that I was just sitting and watching you play at the craps table for a while.
Yeah.
And finally I thought, I'm getting bored. I'll make a $25 hard 8 bet. And that's all I did. I just bet $25 on the hard 8. And it hit. So now suddenly I've got $250. I immediately took it down. I had $250. And
I probably chastised you for taking it down.
Whatever.
I'm sure I did.
So now I've got some money to play. So we're both playing at the table.
Right.
And finally I built it up to, enough money where I'm playing fairly aggressively. Well, this kid got the dice. He was probably in his 20s.
Yeah,
if I'm
mid-20s.
trying to remember. Yeah. And he started rolling, and you and I both placed all the numbers. We bought the 4 and 10 like we did for $25, I think, and then we placed the rest of the numbers for $25 or $30. Well, so this kid started rolling, and it was a pretty good roll. We were winning, and he rolled a 4. And so Mike and I were both thinking, well, let's get a little aggressive with this shooter. I mean, maybe he'll make some money for us. So we pressed the 4. Now, when you say press in casino jargon, that means double your bet.
Right.
So again, not counting the VIG, we had $25 out there. It pays $50. So we said press. So what that meant was the dealer pressed our bet up to $50 and gave us the $25 profit.
Right. So after that first 4 was rolled, we had basically taken back the money we had put out on 4.
Yeah, right. So he continued to roll, and he rolled another 4. And we said, press it again. Let's keep going.
So now we have 100 on 4, and we have $50 profit.
$50 profit plus the 25 that we already got.
Yeah,
so the
initial.
overall profit is 75 on the 4.
Right.
So that's pretty good. We've got $100 out there. This is kind of a stupid way to play because, if we took all our money back, we'd have a lot more. But we're just being aggressive. And the nice thing about pressing the 4 as opposed to pressing like the 6 or 8, if you press the 6 and 8, you don't get much profit, right? If you have $30 on the 6 and you say press,
30 stays on and you get $5.
Yeah, it pays 35, so they take 30 of that and put it on the bet. You only get $5. But pressing the 4 and 10 is nice because you get a little bit more money back.
You get more money back, yeah.
So this kid continued to roll, and he rolled another 4. It's like, hey, great, let's press it. So we pressed it up to 200 and collected the 100. Well, the guy kept rolling, rolled another 4. So we pressed it up to 400.
Yeah.
So that's 4 4s. He continues to roll. He rolls another 4. So we press it up to $800.
$800 now.
So now it's like, again, we should just take the 800 down because we've made a little less than 800 in profit from the 4. But
yeah, but if we take it down, we've doubled what we made.
Yeah, right.
So
it's getting exciting.
It's tempting.
Yeah, it is. So he keeps rolling, and he rolls another 4. This is his 6th 4. So we press it up to 1,600. It's like,
Yeah, well, we collected, 800. So.
Right. Plus, during this whole time, he is rolling other numbers, too.
Yeah, he rolled quite a few numbers in between.
Well, he continues to roll, and he rolls another 4. So that's 7 4s now. And we press it up to 3,200.
Right.
And we're thinking, oh, man, this is getting exciting. And this was back in the days when Caesar's Palace, the maximum bet at most of their craps tables was 5,000.
Right.
Now I think it's 50,000.
It's 50,000 now, right.
But this was 5,000. So we're thinking, if we press it again, we can't double it up to 6,400 if it hits again. All we can do is go to 5,000.
Right. So that's great for us. We collect more. I remember distinctly telling you, too, if he hits it again, we can only go to 5,000. So we're forced to collect money.
That's right. The casino is forcing us to not put more money out on the table.
Which was great, especially in our situation at the time.
So it's getting very exciting and thinking, hey, our trip's really turning around here. So the kid rolls another 4.
Yeah.
It's his 8th 4. And it's like, take us to the max.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this, too, was we both were betting on it.
Yeah.
It's not like we always bet the same by any means.
No. And it's very unusual that we bet the same.
Yeah. But we had it up to $5,000, and it's like, please roll one more 4. We'll get $10,000, and we can't press it anymore. It'll just stay there at 5,000.
I could barely stand still. I mean, I was literally hopping, just thinking, come on, 4, come on, 4.
So the kid rolls the dice, and Mike looks down at the table, and he screams, 4! And you could hear him throughout the casino. And we looked down, and it was a 3. Mike's the only one yelling 4, but the guy rolled a 3. It's like, so Mike was a little embarrassed about that.
Yeah, but I was just foretelling the future because sure enough,
he rolled another
4
for a ninth 4, and we got $10,000, and our $5,000 stayed out there. It turns out that would be the last one that he would roll. And I can't believe this is so stupid. I'm embarrassed to even say this, but when he rolled that last 4 and we got $10,000, I tipped him. And I didn't just tip him. I threw him a $500 chip. $500. You've never tipped that much on a single.
Well, actually, I have to dealers.
Yeah,
where they've hit like
where they've won a bet.
Where they've won a bet.
$5.
Yeah,
you haven't just tossed them.
Well, I'm not stupid. Okay, that's the difference. I'm not stupid.
Oh my gosh! So I sent this $500 chip to this kid, and of course he was thrilled about it.
Oh, he was not betting all that much.
No,
actually, there weren't that many people on the 4.
No,
it was surprising.
Yeah,
because a lot of people like me, they'll go inside, they'll take the inside numbers, the 5, the 6, the 8, the 9, but they stay away from 4 and 10.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone else was up to the max.
No, not even close.
Just
we were the only ones really taking advantage of it. So that was so exciting. So, shortly after that, we colored up, and I took my chips to the casino and had them write me a check so that I would have to carry around a lot of cash. But, I can't imagine that we're going to have a run like that ever again. I mean, who knows?
You never know. You came close with the 10s.
Yeah, it's funny that actually about 6 months, maybe a couple years prior to that, I did something similar on a guy. I think he rolled the same number of 10s, but I wasn't doubling it.
You weren't doubling it, no.
I got it up to maybe 1,000
I'm pretty sure you rolled about the same number of 10s.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
But you were collecting more.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you're at and your mood and everything. Because if you're down, you're collecting. If you were ahead, you'd press like crazy.
Yeah.
My favorite little sidelight about this whole story is that when you got your check, you came home with the check.
Yep.
For
it's right over there on the wall. It's $15,000.
$15,000.
Yep.
He's got a copy of the check on the wall. So our good friend Paul has an uncle who played cards with us for many years. And one night, just out of the blue, he looks over, he sees that check on the wall, and he says to Mark, "Are you ever going to cash that?" Like he just framed it, $15,000. That would be dumber than tipping $500 to the kid who rolled it. Just letting it sit on the wall.
I said, no, I'm not going to cash it. It's more, I like it as a souvenir, so that's why I put it up there.
Hey, wait till you need the money.
It's so funny because it's obviously a photocopy too, right? It's not like it's going to fool anyone.
Hell, he did drink a bit, and so he might have been a little drunk that night.
It could be. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget to visit our website. It's youcanbetonThat.com. What could be easier? You can check out our show notes and leave comments. Also, every once in a while, I'll Twitter @YouCanBetOnThat. Or you can email us. Oh my gosh, youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
And anything else, Mike?
No. I guess I should get up. We should flush and call it a night.
Very good. We're out of the bathroom. We'll see everybody next time.
Good night.